Hi, this is Monica Ulich, and this will be exposing the myth of the digital native, ECI 611 Action Research, Northern Arizona University. So after 16 years of working with computers and computer applications, I began teaching computer applications in 2003. Shortly thereafter began the ongoing discussion of Generation Y, millennials, and digital natives. Faculty and administrators would continue to promote the idea of an all-knowing generation of young people, and thus began the decline of computer courses offered and or required of incoming students. As an instructor and full-time computer lab employee who spent over 50 hours a week with all age groups of students for over 13 years, the hype was not commensurate with the facts of my own observations of thousands of students. Commonly accepted, digital natives are young people that somehow possess the exceptional ability to know how to successfully learn digitally, operate computers, and produce high-level web content. They have also been called the Net Generation, Generation Y, or Millennials. This perception has largely been attributed to a single publication, Digital Natives, Digital Immigrants, by Mark Prinsky, 2001. Consequently, this has led many administrators and faculty to engage in faulty reasoning and erroneous assumptions. Tanner, 2011, said that professors believe that student ownership of mobile devices, laptops, and notebook computers guarantees that they will learn all they need to know about computers. Indeed, the myth of the all-knowing digital native seems to be at the heart of the overall decline of basic computer courses, and courses in computer literacy have been phased out or are being phased out of the curriculum in higher education despite current evidence dispelling the myth. Moreover, the demand for a computer literate workforce is higher now than ever before. Kaminski, Seel, and Cullen in 2003 said the increasing use of technology in higher education reflects the ubiquity in the workplace. If a basic knowledge of information technology is central to the education of all citizens, it forces the question of how educators should address the curricular issues involved. It was precisely because the hype was not meeting the actual that I began to investigate the truth behind the myth. This is a contentious topic among those who agree or disagree with the myth. I have uncovered several empirical studies that support this position that digital natives are a myth. The following is a design for an empirical study to be used in conjunction with action research to affect change in perception and curriculum. I hope to address the specific questions of who are digital learners, why arbitrary generational nomenclature should not be used to determine curriculum, why is the digital divide being ignored, what should higher education be offering today's student to be successful in tomorrow's world? And the project is significant. It addresses college readiness. Evidence suggests that higher education has student success issues and computer literacy could be a factor. In the article, Are We Assuming Too Much? Exploring Students' Perceptions of Their Computer Competence, Messineo and DeOllos, they address the issue of self-efficacy, which is a predictor of student success. The results of that study illustrate that although students have some computer skills, their confidence does not extend far into advanced IT applications. Students were less secure as they found their skills base challenged and made distinctions between using IT for personal versus academic purposes. My plan is to use a team, a validation group of 10 participants who will follow my progress through the empirical study. It will include various academic faculty and administration. Hopefully the academic faculty will come from areas that use writing and word processing in their courses. And administration would hopefully be along the same lines. It would also have to include the business department as they are the ones who currently offer computer courses. I plan to have formative meetings with the team about the empirical research as it goes on. The theory, which I see conflict by. So labeling the current generation of young people Labeling the current generation of young people as digital natives has been increasingly criticized as lacking conceptual clarity and empirical support, according to Lai and Hong in 2015. In essence, the empirical study will set out to disprove a truth that is commonly held by many educators. This will require a traditional experimental design with null hypothesis and analysis to prove the significance of the outcomes of the instrument measurements. This is empirical research, and the empirical paradigm remains highly influential among contemporary educators. This study seeks to provide foundational knowledge obtained by experimentation that can be generalized and replicated by any college. Indeed, it is because this issue has vehement defenders on both sides that statistical analysis through well-designed questions is preferred over more interpretive and potentially arguable data. Moreover, the subject, computer literacy skills, is measurable. Performance or non-performance of the skill will conclusively decide if the participants know the information or not. Therefore, it is my position that this study is twofold. It's through the empirical data that the misconception is challenged, and then through the action research and the team of planning that we can change the curriculum to better reflect what is needed from a word processing class to better serve academic areas, or indeed should a computer literacy test be given to incoming freshmen. And we discussed the planning and the validation team to help me along with those findings, and they will help me plan, act, reflect on my collection of data. And the methodology. It is an experimental design for comparative research that will attempt to determine if there's a significance between the perceived computer literacy skill set of undergraduate students and the actual computer literacy skill set of undergraduate students. And if there is a significant difference in scores of participants who complete a computer literacy skills course. The empirical research I have in mind would require an incoming undergraduate freshman class. According to the most recent statistics at NAU, on the website in the fall of 2014, there were 6,336 freshmen. The average age was 19, and approximately 4,000 were full-time residents. This is the so-called digital native. Incoming freshmen would serve as the initial convenient random sample. This initial sample would range between 7,000 and 7,500 students. Each student would receive an initial survey to self-report her or his perceived level of computer literacy, whether or not they had a computer class in K through 12, had a computer at home, their basic demographics, and if they are enrolled in a computer course for fall at NAU. This initial survey would use the Likert scale and yes/no responses. Of the initial sampling, each student would be asked to volunteer to take a test to judge his or her actual literacy. The test would be constructed with a content expert, quantitative data collected as related to the criterion variables will be evaluated by computer for measures of central tendency mean and variance, standard deviation, and range. Underlying pre-existing conditions inherent in self-reporting may pose a threat to reliability. 12% participation is not possible, then tests shall be conducted for those participants who do volunteer, and this attrition number will be noted in the results. Finally, the participants would be then sorted into two groups, those taking a computer course and those not taking a computer course. All students who took the first test would be invited back at the end of the semester to take another test. Comparison testing will determine if there is a significant increase in computer literacy between students who took a computer course and those who did not, and attrition numbers will be noted in the results. The first instrumentation that will be used to determine the quantitative data is a computer literacy skill set test constructed with content experts who are part of the team of the action research, and they will determine the digital expectations of incoming freshmen. This would be an actual skills test conducted in a simulation setting, such as SAM or MyRT where the skill can be given and graded by an objective system. The system will self-grade and provide detailed analysis by question or by participant. This will determine the answer to the first question. Is there a significant difference between the perceived computer literacy skill set of undergraduate students and the actual computer literacy skill set of undergraduate students? The second and final instrument and third point of data collection is the repeat of the test at the end of the semester. This test will address the specific question of, is there a significant difference in scores of participants who complete a computer course? Were the participants who received the treatment or computer course more successful? Data collection. There will be 3 data point collections in this study. The first data point collection is pre-populated by students who have self-reported through the survey. The data will be analyzed by the researcher who has over 21 years of experience with data analysis and presented to the team. Participants will be assigned into one of 2 groups. Any participant who is missing data will be excluded from the study. Along with the required filters, participant information such as last known email will be collected. Each participant will receive the same survey that will be sent through the school email system to the last known email address of the participant. The participant will have 1 month to complete and return the survey. Undeliverable or returned incomplete surveys shall disqualify the student from the study. In addition, any survey not returned shall be considered attrition and noted in the results. The survey will identify itself with NAU to assist like Return surveys will be analyzed by the researcher. Return surveys will be checked for completion. The first structure test shall be conducted by as few people as possible. This number will be determined by the amount of participants. Fewer than 600 tests will be conducted solely by the researcher. Numbers greater than 600 will be contracted out. Data will be analyzed by the researcher and results shall be reported to the team. The second structured test shall be conducted by as few people as possible. The same rules apply from the first test. Any participant who does not take the second test will be excluded from the comparison part of the study, and data will be analyzed and results reported. Most of the current research agrees that the computer prowess of the digital native is a myth. Cowan, Lei and Hong, Messineo and DeOllos, Tanner, and Vahadnifan all agree. Cowan, in 2011, introduced 4 additional myths. Digital natives are automatically digital learners. Students prefer using technology to learn. Cyberspace is the new classroom, and that today's students are multitaskers. These 4 myths help support the myth of the tech-savvy digital native. Cowan also asserted in 2011 that digital natives had no idea how to work with their technology in his course. In addition, the technology that undergraduates have more experience with, such as video games, are insular systems that only relate to other games, and social sites, which are also insular, do not make one tech-savvy. Tanner, 2011. Finally, Lai and Hong, 2015, explored the generational myth. Their study investigated if there was validity to the claim that generational differences exist, i.e. digital natives versus digital immigrants. Though conducted in New Zealand, the study compared 3 age groups for differences in learning characteristics. Lei and Hong, 2015, found that there was no practical generational difference. They said, this study therefore supported findings from previous studies that although the net generation students use new digital technologies in their everyday life, they do not use them extensively or for learning purposes. For Jeff and Richardson. No major differences in technology use between generations were found. Lion Hong. This supports the position by pointing out that by grouping an entire generation into a single category willfully ignores the vast range of skills, knowledge, and experience of many segments of society. It ignores the needs and perspectives of those young people who are not socially or financially privileged. But Hayanathan, 2008. I believe that the findings from this study will indicate that incoming freshmen will fall significantly below the expectation of passing a computer literacy test on the first test. I believe that we will find that all students will somewhat improve over the semester, but that only those students who take a computer course will pass the second test. The empirical data will support the position that there is no such thing as a digital native. No generation magically shares an all-knowledge database that she or he is constantly monitoring. Mobile devices and laptops do not make anyone tech savvy, and using the internet to socialize only makes a person social, not a digital learner. I plan to present the findings to the team, and hopefully we can do action that would create new curriculum to address the lack of readiness in college students that I'm sure the data will support, or create a new testing environment to address the lack of readiness and put students in classes where they need to be. Thank you.